Yes, sir. Dieter and Hutch, alive and kicking, unlike the San Jose Sharks, who are very dead. They're
Oh
so
man,
dead, Jake. They couldn't be more dead. And by the end of this draft saga, and I call it a saga, I think we'll be dead too. But in the meantime,
we can only
content must
hope.
be made. Yeah, right. I mean, geez, relinquish me from this mortal coil. There's like so much to get to, but nothing to hook our teeth into. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do like a classic Larry bit right here and be like, "Did you see the latest mock draft that Field Yates put out?" Um,
I did not.
no, nor should you, because who gives a shit? But the last time we talked, I told you that, and I want to be very clear. I took a week off from texting people, like in general effect. I got like text toxicity in my body, and I'm like, I'm done talking to people all day and every day. I'm done. My 3-year-old won't shut the hell up. That's enough for me. So I just haven't texted anybody in like a week about anything. So I have no idea what's happening out in the world. That said, last time we talked, I told you that I was getting the sense that Kendrick Falk was falling down boards, that people weren't as hot to trot as maybe the initial mock draft aggregation led it to believe. And I think my man Field Yates, who I do think legitimately does a very good job and is well sourced, I can attest to that firsthand, had the Niners picking old Kendrick Falk at 27 today in his mock draft.
I'm only
And
laughing because
just saying,
you've used two first names for him, and neither have been.
is it Keldrick Falk, Kendrick Falk? What is it?
Yes, but it wouldn't.
The
It
bit
wouldn't
will
be
live.
our show if you got his name right, and I actually would prefer you continue the bit.
Kevin Falk, former Patriots running back, is out here, possibly draftable at 27.
I think it's a good move.
So, let's pull it back for a second, and I'll throw this your way. It does seem as if this draft at 27 is kind of breaking the Niners' way. If the information that's starting to come together now, kind of this second, maybe even third wave of opinion, now that we have these boards are pretty solid, especially first round. I got 4 names that I feel like might not work out, but I feel like one of these 4 is going to be there for them, and that's Falk, which would be kind of a bold fall if he was ever really there. Casey Concepcion, who I'm like, I know that you're not as high on him as I am. I can't quit him. There's something there.
I think it's fine. I think it's underwhelming. I think it's an off the line wide receiver who you're going to utilize closer to Debo than ever resembling a number one. And like Pearsall has like true like play the wide receiver position ability. Concepcion feels more gadgety to me.
Yes.
That said, in this draft, after you hit a certain point with wide receiver, it's like, what's even the point? So
we'll put a pin in that. Put a pin in that because I want to circle back on another wide
Okay.
receiver, going back to Field Yates' thing. And then the other 2 are Proctor, who you just get the full gambit of possibilities, like pick 42, pick 12. Somewhere in the middle are the San Francisco 49ers. We're in a world where Monroe Freeling is like now in some weird groupthink being considered a top 10 pick. And it's like, oh, no one, as I've said a million times over, no one knows what the hell they're doing on offensive line. And someone's out there to prove it very vociferously. And then finally, this will make you very happy. It does feel like Avion Terrell is going to be exceptionally available at 27.
I was just going to say, I opened the draft and then he's just there at 32 for Seattle. If he's there,
Don't
if
let
Seattle
that
gets to
happen.
draft Avion Terrell, everyone should be fired.
That's how it keeps happening.
In a weird draft class where there's like a lot of that's like one guy I understand there's like some size concerns. I don't care. Dude plays ball.
Oh, he's a great player.
He's so good. Like, I don't understand why Mansour Delane is viewed as like in a tier higher than him when Delane's not large. Like,
that is a fair comparison. Delane is just smooth, man.
Yeah,
he's so
I know.
he's silky. Like, he makes you feel good watching cut-ups. That's why Mansour Delane's there. Also, his name is Mansour Delane. Like, that helps. It really helps. Chris Johnson, by the way, is as good as those other two guys. Like, Chris Johnson, another guy that I'm incapable of quitting right now. I think his special teams tape made the rounds on Twitter recently, and it's just exceptional. And I love this guy. I've loved this guy since the first second I saw him. And that's a very rare thing in this current draft class where you're just like, oh, hell yeah. Usually you're like, I guess, I don't know.
Right.
But any of those three guys is great. It's literally, they're ranked, as far as I can tell, by coolness of name, which is Mansour Delane, Avian Terrell, cool name, and then Chris Johnson. So Chris Johnson gets to go in the second round because he doesn't sound cool.
Oh, my God. Emmanuel Perignon at 55 to the Chargers would be...
Yeah.
So I'm start levitating out of my chair. Sorry.
No one knows what the hell they're talking about with offensive line. And then did you see who the Niners took in the second round? This is another guy who over the last week I'm really circling back to again and again. It's not sexy. I don't think it's flashy. I just think that he's going to be a pro for a decade and never give you any trouble.
He at 1 and 2, Falk and Jeremy Bernard.
And that's where I wanted to go to. Like, that would be we've run through a lot of scenarios. Not that we're mocking or anything, but we've run through a lot of scenarios. Kind of hard to beat Falk and Jeremy Bernard 1 and 2. Positions of need, serious upside. I think Bernard is just an immediate fit, backup X. He's kind of everything that it's not fair because we're talking like a second-round pick to a fourth-round pick, but he's everything that people said about Jordan Watkins. Like, oh, he can play all the positions, and he's really smooth, and like he's a nice deep shot guy. Except this guy can block on top of that and actually did all of those things at a much better level in the SEC.
And it felt like part of the reason, and this is might just me be talking sideways.
That's all we're doing.
But it felt like Alabama was such a mess from the jump that there was like a level of like, what are we doing here?
I don't understand. They had the best quarterback in the draft, I heard, on the internet and television.
Dieter, let me tell you what. Not my QB 1, 2, or 3.
Not my QB 1. Let's just lean right into that. You seem to have taken to a new quarterback. You have
I have taken to a couple, but the one I put in my Substack today.
Yeah, you've made him the art.
To be clear, when we put together like our Notion board and we try and track everything, we take it like early in the process, and then it inevitably it changes. But we go to like
hot mess
mock draft database because Notion doesn't let you auto sort by number. You can't just swipe up, and it drives me insane. I've tried to Claude code it anyway. Because they're too evolved. They can't do numbers anyway.
No. It's fine. It's the last time they're getting our $12.
This guy, you want to talk about a guy?
Who are you talking about?
Talking about Baron Morton at Texas Tech, who, my point, ranked number 327 when we ingested this aggregate mock draft. Not draftable.
That's UDFA territory, baby.
Big fan. You want to know why I'm a big fan?
Actually, no. And we move on to the next segment. Of course, tell me why. First off, tell me why, and then tell me what round grade you put on him. Because I watched him for about 40 minutes before we got into this. Because get this, hadn't gotten to him yet. And I got some thoughts. You lay them on me.
I thought he had a decent feel in the pocket for pressure. Mm-hmm. A couple times he threw absolute darts. I thought not elite in a ton of facets, but good arm talent, good athleticism. Should probably know how tall he is, but didn't seem
6'2"-ish.
Didn't seem damningly small.
No.
Operated
skinny,
relatively quickly, and perhaps, and maybe it's because I'm grading on a curve here, and I'm watching people like Sawyer Robertson who actually have not a clue what's going on and shouldn't be drafted. I'm not trying to.
Are you telling me his head moved? You telling me his head moved at all? Because that really does separate him from the rest of everybody.
I'm saying he took checkdowns. I'm saying he went, nope, check down.
Yeah.
And for me, For me, when I'm talking about a guy like, oh, can he maybe operate at the NFL level, just operate an offense?
Right.
Going, no, there's an open guy underneath. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I know that's getting a little bit too excited.
You
but
should see this guy's checkdowns. Let me tell you, Dieter.
But the other stuff, listen, there were a couple times I had one major blemish on it where he had a really bad read where he stared something down and nearly threw a pick six from his own end zone. They were up by like 30 or 40.
Yeah.
So I cut some slack.
The interceptions, I mean, I did end up watching a lot of Texas Tech football in the moment. I think I told you this when you kind of started fawning over him. He threw a lot of damning interceptions. He threw a lot, and right over the middle. And this is kind of where I get hung up on it. I don't think that he would be out of bounds as a draft pick, but I didn't develop the same sort of feelings watching him. Certainly when I was watching him in the first place, because I never really made note of him as a prospect outside of, hey, the Texas Tech quarterback does throw a lot of bad interceptions, doesn't he? And then, but also they totally sucked when he didn't play that one game, I believe, against Arizona State. But then the other thing is, and this really showed up in the two games I was able to speed through. I like the zip on his throw hashes and right around the numbers, like kind of inside, right? Anything that's slot in, really good zip. And you can see it. You go, okay, that's a nice throw. You can get into tight windows. He's got a nice little touch on the pass. A lot of good stuff there. When he's asked to throw an opposite hash out, which is very difficult to do in college, given the where the hash marks are and such, that ball has that same zip for the first like 10, 15 yards and then absolutely dies. And there's just something that I can't get over when just a rope just sort of slows down. It was like he was throwing a changeup almost repeatedly. And that's the kind of throw that maybe that's a bit extreme because of the hash marks and all that. But those kind of cross the field throws, you get to set your feet, turn your shoulders, stand and deliver. If you can't get it 25 yards because it will just slow down, that's going the other way. And that's not what his interceptions were from, again, what I recall, and then the very limited 40 minutes I spent with him today. That's not what his interceptions were, but those are interceptions at the NFL level. So that was my concern here. I'm going to throw this your way, though. If we're talking about a Big 12 quarterback who's in that 6th, 7th, you're taking a total flyer on him, give me, and I can't believe I'm saying this, give me Jalen Daniels at Kansas because he can run a lot better. He
certainly can run a lot better.
I really do like the zip on his throws. I think he has a really nice deep ball. I think that he, more so than most quarterbacks I've seen in this class, in fact, maybe all but the very tippy-top ones, really good at delivering accurate footballs, not at a deep level or anything. He's not Patrick Mahomes, but really good at delivering 15 yards and in off balance, off platform. And he has to do that because he's always running around for his life. And he struck me as somebody who, and maybe this is my Mizzou bias coming through, somebody who was completely done in by his surroundings and constantly made the most of it. He got his ass kicked by Mizzou. They had two good drives and then they went to
the inverse way where like he was the problem some of the time. It's tough to tell because you're right. Like he didn't have exceptional playmakers around him and he's sort of asked to do everything. But then when you get in that habit, then you're doing too much, which makes it a difficult eval.
And he got banged up a bunch too, which it makes sense given his size.
I had some times where I was disgusted by his play, frankly, and other times where you're like, no, all right.
You know who he kind of reminded me of at his best? And this is unfair. There's some Malik Willis in there. And they're about the same size. Now, Malik filled out a little bit more from the Liberty days, certainly. He's not as fast as Malik was when Malik, I believe, was at Auburn to begin. But the kind of off-platform throws, just get it out. You know, you can do some RPO stuff with him where he's an actual threat. Good zip on the ball. Nothing crazy. As a backup quarterback, I think he could be a really fun one. And
you certainly would be a fun one.
Yeah, like And if it goes to hell, like, what'd you lose? But he's the one guy who this is not a great quarterback class, to say the least. He's the one guy.
The amount of guys that just went undraftable.
No, undraftable. He's the one who I'm like, there's like a 1 in 50 universe where he not just makes it in the league, but like starts and has like 3 or 4 good years, like gets a contract and then dies because he's 6'1" maybe and weighs like 195 pounds. But like there's something about he had a moxie to him that I really liked. And that could go both ways. Gets immediately cut, whatever. He's playing in the UFL by when, he's a St. Louis Battlehawk when it's all said and done. But
I prefer the Chupacabras, frankly.
Yeah.
Or is that the IFL? That's the IFL.
That is the IFL. That's the Indoor Football League, which we all know is the most reputable of all the indoor football leagues.
Chupacabras.
The Fisher Freights is another team. I might have spent 20 minutes on a runway recently just reading about the IFL. We could go on.
And
this is a terrible quarter. Like I know that I've been couching it. This is a terrible quarterback class. We're to the point where like Nussmeier feels like a top 100 player.
He's my QB2.
Like he's not awesome. Like there's nothing cool about him.
No, but what he does do is he's kind of a gunslinger, and you're like, I don't know about that, and he gets it in there. He takes risks, but he also has really good ball placement. I think he's got a little bit of like the Big Ben, like sort of wider guy, good pocket movement where you're like, it's little micro movements.
Yes.
I think he just like is a professional in a class of guys.
His dad's a longtime OC, right? Like
right.
But he gets a little. It's nice that he has that gunslinger thing because you get a lot of kids of coaches that are just, oh, it broke down. I don't know what to do. Like he has some feel for it. I just like that his head kept moving. Like the bar is so low. This guy's actually scanning the field looking for stuff. And I was kind of in very, very early in the process on Drew Aller on the basis of like, well, he has all the tools except the ability.
Looks like a quarterback.
My goodness, does he? Except for the whole can't throw an accurate pass to save his life thing. So I'm not sure they'd put in the same amount of effort that like the Bills put into Josh Allen to make that work.
Let me just say, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, I think, over this draft.
Yes.
I think a lot of people are going to make some very, very bad decisions because, and this, let me get the takeoff. I don't think there's like John Lynch goes through and he says there's a certain amount of draftable players every year. Last year he said 200. Year before he said 170. I think it's going to be below 170, and I feel confident about that.
Why do you think they don't have any picks in the 5th, 6th, or 7th round?
And I think they don't have much interest unless they get into, day 3 and there's a guy they really like that's sitting there, and they go, all right, let's trade our 4th this year for, an early 5th next year, see if someone will come on board.
Right.
I don't know if people will do that because next year's picks are so much obviously more valuable. But there's a lot of yikes in this class, and there's
it gets
some
yikes pretty fast. Like,
yeah.
Can I throw this at you? I'm seeing a lot of love for like R. Mason Thomas, who I want to be clear is like going to be a top 100 player for me. I don't think is like a bad football player. Like he's draftable, but the fact that he's hyped up as a possible 1st round pick, it's like, oh no, baby, what you doing?
Right.
And then I've been seeing this sort of reverse engineering of justification on this, and it's like, oh, he plays with such a great motor, and I'm like, oh, great, the bare the bare minimum of what's necessary to be a top 100 pick, or like he's a good run stopper, and I'm like, no, they just ran directly into him. Like he never sheds blocks to get to stuff the run. He just plays with the high motor. He's got a great first step off the line. He is a 3rd down pass rusher who's a little bit wider than what you would expect for that, but there's not enough there to justify, I think, even anything close to a top 50 pick. And yet he'll go in the top 50 because once you get out of the clear cuts, it gets real hairy real fast.
I think sharp front offices are going to have kind of a field day with this draft and be able to get and say, hey, this is actually like a good player. maybe it's a position we don't have a need in, but like this is a really good player. We're going to get it. The value's there. We know after a certain pick, it's kind of just throwing darts.
Yeah.
And there's going to be teams that like reach based on need and say, oh, well, we need an edge rusher. And this edge rusher is fourth on our board and he's there. But in next year's class, he'd be 15th.
Yeah, well, just call that what that is. That's called the Nick Martin. That's what that is. That's called the Cam Latu, where we need this. It is a certain round that we expected to have this done by. We are going to just take whomever is left atop our board, even if they should not be anywhere near this pick.
I can't wait to see how disappointed I am. Again, like I'm not a fan of the San Francisco 49ers, but I'd like to cover a team with an interesting rookie tight end. I can't wait to see how I'm disappointed by what they choose to do. I know they just brought in Dallin Bentley for a couple different interviews and whatever. That's encouraging. He's awesome.
He is.
I know it's not going to be him. It's going to be someone who deeply upsets me.
Who would upset you most?
Out of Wisconsin. Who would upset me most is spending like pick 58 or something on like Michael Trigg.
Yeah, that would be upsetting.
Or Eli Raridan, who I think is just not it. I think he's soft.
I'm with you on that. The only two tight ends.
I mean, there's a lot of good tight ends. There's a lot of like viable, projectable tight ends.
Roush is fine.
Class.
Roush is fine. Yep. I like both of the Georgia tight ends a lot.
I do too.
Much prefer Delp to Lucky, but I think Lucky is usable. I think that's a pro.
I'm completely with you.
Usually I have 4 or 5 day 3 tight ends that I won't shut the hell up about. And I think it's just going to be Lucky this year.
Yep.
And that's really stretching the boundaries of like excitement.
I stumbled on Lance Mason from Wisconsin. Wisconsin. It's funny when you watch, you're like, I'm going to watch DBs against this team that never throws the ball.
That would do it.
It's maddening. Lance Mason is a guy for Wisconsin where I'm like, pretty good move blocker, not necessarily like a total driver, but runs routes surprisingly well, moved really well. He's like a day 3 guy I'm a big fan of that I think, yeah, he'll just fit what you need to do.
I have one day 3 guy that I'm like all about right now. I texted you him the other day. Jordan Vandenberg out of Georgia Tech.
You texted me and I did not respond because something was happening. I went, I can't deal with this.
That's fine.
Now.
It's
Tell
totally
me about
fine.
Jordan Vandenberg.
Jordan Vandenberg is a South African who got a 10 RAS, and most of the time you find out like he's just learning football. He's a rugby player. All this. I don't think he's a future 49er. To be clear, I don't think that they need a Jordan Vandenberg on the basis of he's just a double team eater. Now he's low and he's squatty and he's got some pop. It's kind of like you know what? You know who he kind of reminded me of? He was like Mason Graham with less upside. Like Mason Graham was out there kind of stumpy and yet he was getting in the backfield like crazy and you're like, "Oh, hell yeah, I get it." And then you watch Vandenberg and you're like, he's kind of getting in the backfield a little bit here. And also, anytime they throw the double team at him, which was apparently every snap, which is telling in and of itself, he was just eating him up and trying to get off of me. And like, I really liked his tape. It's not sexy. It's not flashy. It's not going to lend itself to people who do this through YouTube highlights at all because there won't be any. But like, good football player. And if you're looking for it's probably closer to a 3 tech because of size. But if you're looking for a first or second down 3 tech who you get the right coach with them, could develop into something like pretty damn good. Jordan Vandenberg feels like a really fun flyer, especially like in round 4. You've already had a couple picks in round 4, but the Niners just they're not in a position with. I love West still. You still have Collins. You just get Odigizua. Like you're in a position where you need to add another one, but you probably need another gap shooting 3 tech, somebody closer to that. But he's somebody that I think is going to end up being a steal on day 3, or no one ever hears from him again. But at least he took the shot. Like
it's funny. It's like we talked about like day day 3 can get ugly, but it's also like that's the only time I would draft a defensive tackle in this entire draft. I would not even consider it in the first 3 days unless I have actually exactly one exception.
Okay.
And it's Caden McDonald. And it's
how early?
Once round 1 ends. You do not even consider him in round 1. But my God, he's a beautiful run defending monster.
Great feet.
Just like he's awesome. He is phenomenal.
He's a really good
player. There's not a ton of pass rush upside. There's really not. But there is a world where he learns to use that power and that base and just create disruption going forward like a snowplow. But he's awesome, and he's just going to eat up space and create a lot of problems in the run game and make everybody else's life easier on the first 2 downs.
I just don't know why we're even bothering because he's so clearly going to get drafted by the Chargers. I've never seen a more Chargers player in my life. You're talking about a run-stuffing one tech who you could keep on the field on 3rd down because he's going to make everybody else's life easier.
Yep.
Like, that's a Charger. That's what Jim Harbaugh lives for. And, I think anyone would be well-suited. No love for Peter Woods?
He just dropped a ton for me. I just evaluated him.
Physically or on the board?
Like on my board.
Okay.
He went from, I had him. Here's the thing. I watched one game of him where he looked awesome.
Yes.
Then I watched 2 more games and I went, oh, dear God, no. So
that's interesting because usually the worst case scenario is, wait a minute, where is he?
Yeah, I have him in
You
round...
could find him and you were not happy with what you saw?
I have him now as late round 2. So
wow.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Stumpy arms, and his entire MO is connect. He wants to get you right here, and then he's got incredible torque, incredible upper body strength, but he has to connect, which is a little bit difficult with those stumpy arms. Longer guys, particularly longer guards, even in schools that aren't phenomenal, it didn't have great lines. If they were longer, they just kept him at literal arm's length, and he couldn't do anything. And then he a red flag for me, cannot be used on the goal line. Was demolished in goal line situations. There was one play he got completely removed, and they ran wide open, untouched running back into the end zone, directly really behind where Woods is supposed to be. So there's first step quickness and burst. He's got a little bit of versatility. His pad level's a real problem for me. He needs to be a low driver who gets low and connects, but he gets high and he gets removed easily. He tries to go up over the top and it just doesn't work. And if somebody just connects with him at his hip, it's over. When he connects with you, and he gets 1 foot in the ground, he can tear off you and make a play, which is why I can't quit him. And I think with the right coaching, there's something too with K-Part where I'm like, what's Clemson doing on their defensive line? And it's not to I know it's a good school, but I have some questions about what's going on there with their defensive fronts. And I wonder if you get him with the right coach. I think he's a guy, if you believe in your defensive line coach, if you're very confident in your defensive line coach, you can go for him. But you have to know exactly, you have to have an example. And I don't have a lot of examples of stumpy arm guys who use that plan of attack as a reference point to really succeed. So I'm a little bit out on him.
Well, and it would be fine if he was a good enough run stuffer, because then you just put him in that category and you like that upside, and every now and again he's going to create some havoc in the backfield because it all lined up for him perfectly. But that's gravy because you're getting the run stuffing. A lot of the same characteristics you laid out are the same issues that Alfred Collins has, except Alfred Collins is way bigger, way longer, doesn't have that same first step or anything, but it's just even if Alfred Collins doesn't know what he's doing, it's just very difficult to run around him. It's very difficult to move him under any circumstances.
He just occupies space.
Right. And so
it's literally when you draft in the NBA and you just get a 7-footer who's wide. It's who is Oh wait, who's the guy that the Timberwolves had for the longest time? I want to say he was Serbian and he was just incredibly yoked.
Oh
You
yes,
know who I'm talking about.
Nimovic. I think it was. It was started with an N and ended with an itch. You picked the middle.
Power forward.
It wasn't.
Serbian.
No. It was like number 13. He had like a beard.
Pekovic.
Pekovic.
Nikola Pekovic.
Nikola Pekovic. I was going to say
what
Tom
Alfred
Gugliotta.
Collins is, right? He's just Nikola Pekovic. He's in there just to like rebound and be large.
Little Yusef Nurkic, right?
Yeah.
Just be large. Go out there. Every now and again, you can do something fun, but really, no, you're not going to be on the court for any meaningful minutes.
I've made a mistake because I put it out into the universe and I explicitly stated it in the Hutch report today. But I'm so in on the Balkans with Illinois. I'm so deeply in on them.
Yes, I don't particularly care for Illinois basketball from a long-seated rivalry, but I'm very in on the Balkans. Spent almost a month in Croatia. I'm in on the Balkans. The Balkans are an all-time hack for travel, by the way. Yep. If you're at all interested in I'm going to go to the south of France, or I'm going to go to the coast in Italy, and it's like, no, right. Find you hit up Croatia, hit up I want to go up into Slovenia and go skiing, mainly because I got somewhat addicted to Lasko, the Slovenian beer, which is just a delight. It has a little ram on it, so good. I got a couple questions for you here. This is not going to be a long show.
Go for
it. Who's returning kicks for the San Francisco 49ers this upcoming season? Either kind.
Jacob Cowing.
I mean, it does seem like that's the way it's trending. And I suppose that he didn't disqualify himself because he didn't practice at all last year.
You want the actual odds-on favorite?
Who?
Like Patrick Taylor. As a special teams start the season on practice squad. They haven't figured it out, and they say, Patrick Taylor, you're our special teams running back for the first 4 weeks until we find an answer because we forgot to find somebody in training camp.
It does feel like it will be Jordan James to start on kick returns,
which is not his skill set. He's not fast.
No, none of this is good.
It's all bad.
There was some suggestion of Watkins. I am I'm gonna label myself a Watkins skeptic. He was my third favorite receiver on Ole Miss 2 years ago.
Yep.
I understand the selling point. It's like Giants coded. You keep saying that he's all these things. Why doesn't he do any of these things as far as anyone can tell?
It's so who's the pitcher that was awesome? He started a few games. I'm so bad with names for some reason.
That's my thing.
He throws 100.
We can't.
We
talking Carson Whisenhunt? You talking
No, I'm talking reliever converted to starter who throws 100.
Oh, Jordan Hicks.
Jordan Hicks, right? Jordan Watkins, Jordan Hicks. It's a thing of he's going to pull it off, he's going to be great, and then it's his arm is shot because it's not sustainable.
Yeah, now he's a White Sox, I think. So that's not good.
Is he?
Go Sox.
How about the Giants starting tomorrow night? A lot of people are going to be disappointed.
We'll see. They got 162, and you can't be perfectly mid after one game. You have to be either up one or down one. So at least there will be one night of agony or.
So it begins.
So it begins. I am not going to stay for the game tomorrow. That's my official stance on it. I'm going to go. I'm going to listen to Tony Vitello complain about being there, and then I'm going to leave and let you all figure it out on the fly. I'll go on Friday. But by the way, they're not playing on Sunday. Great job, Rob. You nailed it, buddy. They're going to play on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, and then they won't play on Sunday. Awesome. Fantastic. Okay.
I don't like that at all.
No, I don't care for it one bit.
I'm going to go see him in 2 weeks against my Mets.
Hey, now. It's all about the Mets, baby. Also, the Niners got Robert Jones in free agency much much to the chagrin of anyone who has covered the NFL because they immediately had to figure out who is Robert Jones. I have done some research, Jake, and let me tell you, my initial read on this guy's a Jag. Maybe he's a Jag, but there's something there. I kind of liked it.
Right. So how would you describe Mr. Robert Jones, who I simply have not watched?
No, nor should you. The feet are always moving, the head's always moving. I think he delivers a pretty good punch. My main takeaway was like, looks like a smart, and this is such a silly thing to come off of like 5 games worth of, quickly scanning through it on NFL Pro from 2 years ago. But he feels like he was the brains of the operation on the Miami offensive line. Felt like the only guy who seemed to know the plays. Never felt panicked. Doesn't make like plays, but also doesn't not make plays, if that makes sense. He's just sort of there. And
sure.
And it's hard to get a grade on him because when he messes up, he does a nice job of recovering, but it's never like a true cleanup where he, knocks a dude on his ass. It's always just giving the quarterback another second or two to get rid of the football.
Pooney.
It's not Pooney-esque because he doesn't have the same power that Pooney can deliver. But this guy I can totally see in watching those 4 or 5 games from Miami 2 years ago, like why Furster was like, oh yeah, let's roll with that. Now, if you just anoint him the starter over everybody else, you've done a terrible disservice. But he is someone who should, at least as far as I can tell right now, make the team out of camp. And like, if he has to play 10 games, he's not going to be the problem. He just won't. I actually really liked him, and I'm a little bit disappointed that he was in no way on my radar in any way, shape, or form, because I have advocated for worse. And this guy was fine. This guy was fine, and every now and again you're like, oh yeah, I get it. And again, he seems to know the plays. Head's always moving. He's looking to help, looking for work.
Did have a neck injury, if I'm not mistaken.
That's why he didn't play for Dallas last year. So I'm actually a big fan of the Robert Jones thing. And in general, I'm a pretty big fan of kind of everything the Niners have done in free agency. I think that they really, really did well. I mean, we don't need to get into the nitty-gritty on the contracts and stuff because they really did well there. Yeah. But, like, sure, Mike Evans is not a guaranteed slam dunk. But if it works, my God.
It could go sideways because these guys all have injury histories and are old. But, like, yeah, I like the prices and the players.
Yeah, I think Drake Greenlaw coming back, like that's an emotional boost. If anything, that's worth the cost of admission for the 49ers there. Christian Kirk we talked about, like that's a really nice signing. I thought they just did a bunch of really nice, deft things, and I would have liked it if they had gotten another tight end or another running back. Or if they, I still think they can probably get in at safety. Dallas's safety last year, forgive me, I forget his name. Of course, we don't remember anybody's names. Donovan Wilson's still around. That might be an option there.
Remember, safety is like the most late free agency window position on the planet.
A week into training camp, they're like, we should sign a safety, right?
They did the 1 year before they got to Sean Gibson. I swear to you, I had to write about 3 or 4 articles that were like, former Pro Bowler signs with the Niners. And then when Deshaun Gibson signed, I was like, oh, another one who's going to get cut in a week. Because you're just like, they recycle these guys.
And by the way, the Niners aren't the only team that kind of treats safeties like dog water. Like,
I don't think anyone knows what they want at safety except for like Mike McDonald.
And I wonder why he's succeeding. If safeties are destiny, the one guy who seems to know anything about safeties just won the Super Bowl. But like, they have put themselves in a position where, yes, they might not be able to go best available player, but like, it seems like it's a decent enough safety class, right? First safety class I can remember in a long time where there are 3 guys
good safeties, good linebackers, good tight ends.
And there's enough defensive ends just in quantity that you can get away with it if you're looking for the right thing. Like a Gabe Jackas at Illinois might be there. By the way,
go like 40.
The problem is that Jackas might even go at the end of the first round because there's certainly going to be 3 or 4 teams that are like, oh, hell yeah, this is our guy.
They're like, listen, everyone sucks. We like him. Why would we take him and try and take him in 2 rounds when we could have him now? We don't know what we're going to pick next, but he's cool.
But if you think about what they need, I mean, they need a +1 at wide receiver, but they can probably pick somebody up in free. They need a +1. They need a +1 at running back. Okay, like not something that's immediate.
Yeah, they need a running back desperately.
I mean, but they have made their call already in this regard. They're not getting a running back who's going to fill the role that they should be filling. That role is now held by Jordan James. I don't agree with that, but that is where it stands. We'll see. Indeed. They need a tight end, but they've again made the determination that they're not going to go get somebody who could replace Kittle for a year, even in a loose facsimile of whatever, a two-way guy who can do that. They're just not going to do it. But they need to get another one into the building. The two spots that really stand, I mean, they need another safety, but they can do that in a bunch of different ways. They should probably add another corner, because you should probably just always add another corner, and you can probably do that earlier rather than later this year. If nothing else, to put a fire under Green's ass, who's, by the way, is not getting traded because he was never going to get traded. The only thing that it feels like they desperately, deeply must have is a pass-rushing defensive end, so that when Bosa slides over to 5 tech on third down, they need to get somebody who can come off the edge.
Yeah.
I
would argue guard, but they will disagree with me and not do that.
You and I are in agreement. Like, they should go get a guard. They should go get a second running back. It feels like their determinations have been made there, where they're like, no, we're going to get by with this, and we're going to get by with this. The one position where they cannot make that claim right now, earnestly, where they need somebody for this very particular and very important role, is secondary pass rusher. And not a great class for that to be, but ironically, in a weird way, because it's such a specific role, you can get away with it. Because I don't like a lot of these defensive ends, except in that specific role,
right,
where you should be getting that late, day 2 or early
like
day 3,
like
and
Joshua
instead
Josephs or something, 58, or Malachi Lawrence or something.
Like, is that good value? No. Is there any good value? No.
It is going to be the ultimate draft class where I'm like, that is 2 rounds higher than I graded him at, and that makes complete sense that he was selected there, given what else is on the board. There's going to be guys that are like 5th-round grades that are going to go at pick 60, and I'm going to go, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense in the context of this class.
It is really shocking. I mean, it is really shocking how unimpressive this draft class is.
Yeah, it's weak.
It's
weak.
I knew it wasn't going to be good, because last year wasn't good. And then the guys that I really seemed to like during last year's process were all 2 years away from getting drafted.
100%.
So, but this year it's really rough, because every game I'm watching, I'm like, oh, wait, who's that? Oh, he's not coming out until next year. Oh, wait, who's that?
I was watching, was it Clemson? It was either Clemson or Auburn. I'm forgetting what his name is. No, it was, I forget. But
you're always 2 years away on Clemson.
He's number 15, and I want to say it was for Clemson, and I was like, this is the best pass. It was Clemson, and it was the best pass rusher on Clemson's defensive line.
Yeah. I couldn't stop watching that guy either. Who is he?
Yep.
He was the one good player. But don't worry, Dabo will screw that up, as he did with Woods and as he did with Parker and all that. Like, maybe we just stay away from Clemson for a while. I mean, Cade Klubnik and Clemson was supposed to be a national title contender this past year, because this was the year that everything kind of built up into, right? Because Clemson would not use the transfer portal, and they might never go back after the drama that they had with the transfer portal this past offseason. But, like, they wouldn't use the transfer portal. Dabo's like, that's not how we do things in this Christian-run organization. And so it was all the guys that they had recruited and kept for, like, 3 years. They were all coming of age in this season, and then they played in the Pinstripe Bowl against Penn State.
Sorry.
Jaheim
yes. Lawson.
Okay, yeah. But 15 on Clemson is my language, and you are 100%
Brother
right.
of Shaq Lawson, by the way.
That's good bloodlines. Shaq Lawson was a hell of a football player. Might still be. Who's to say? What else do we need to get to? Because that's all I have.
I think just questions and questions.
Okay. How about this?
All right.
Let's start here. Good show, fellas. Looking forward to being able to snag that hat. Yes. By the way, a great reference point. If you're a Seek Help, and the Seek Helps have been down below this whole time. You need to check the posts on the YouTube page, okay? If you are a Seek Help, and I'll send it out again today, there's a form you got to fill out. I'm not trying to dox anybody. You can do what I just need to be able to send you something via USPS, which is just a bunch of stickers. And then I need you to put them everywhere. Children, cars, stop signs, whatever you want to do with them. But the stickers are going out to the Seek Helps, and it's not just one. I will just put in a bunch, and I will put a stamp on it, and it will come from Dieter and Hutch at my address. So don't dox me, and we'll just have a reciprocal relationship of I won't remember your address, you don't remember mine. And yeah, I'm excited to get these stickers out, but I don't want to start. I don't want to start sending them out until I can get them all out, and you'll get them all by the draft to be sure. But if you haven't already checked the post as a Seek Help, do it now. Put your name in there. This is the
as Dank Dank says. Tell people how to become a member. The iPhones don't.
It's very straightforward. If you go to my Twitter account, which is not a great way of going about it, if you use X, the Everything app, you can go to @Dieter, Dieter, which is literally right above my head, and if you click that link up in my profile, it's a direct link to become a member. So. That's the easiest way to do it. And you know what I'll even do? I'll just drop it in here right now. And what a weird way to go about doing some business. But if you want to become a member, you can just click that link, and it should take you right there. That, or it's a computer virus. Who's to say? What do we have here? This is a good one. This running back class kind of stinks. Justin, boy, howdy, are you right. Running backs are like the easiest position to get totally deluded by. Usually during you're like, oh yeah, I love this guy. Turns out he actually sucks once he gets to the NFL, but in college he just looks bitching. And You're watching him and you're like, this is great. I don't care if he can't pass pro or doesn't know the play. You're just like, this guy's cool because he's usually the best athlete on the field, and their college game is more often than not, especially at the lower levels, just give it to the running back 40 times a game. I feel nothing for any of these guys. I feel nothing.
There's a couple guys I like.
Okay. Well, do you want to share any of them?
I just wanted to leave you on the hook to see how long. Katron Allen, who's the most obvious name where you're like, but he actually has outstanding vision and patience and just great tempo. I love the way he actually plays the position and reads it out and can follow his blockers. Jamari Taylor from Virginia, positive yards menace. Micro cuts, can find yardage when there's nothing there. His speed's more than good enough. He's quick. He's kind of an awesome little route runner too. I really like Jamari Taylor, and I really like Katron Allen. And then there's guys like Claiborne and Singleton and Price, who are all bigger backs where you're like, they're kind of huge boom bust players. Mike Washington is not a good football player, but is so fast and so large. He will produce, but I'm not sure he's actually good at the sport.
If only there was a recent example of someone who was fast and large, who we made the argument it has to work. What would his name be?
Baby.
Garendo-ish. That's not where we want to go. Let's just go to Dank Dank here. Is Najee really coming back to the Bay? Nothing has ever been more certain than Najee getting signed on July 14th.
Remember, compensatory picks, once the draft's over, that's out the window. So someone asked about Jawan Jennings lingering out there.
Ain't no one giving him a pick.
So just wait. Just wait until then, and then you can pay guys.
This is another one from we're finding out a lot about Dank Dank. Mike Hill was a mistake. I disagree with that, but I will say we did not get into this with Falk, whatever his first name might be. Kendrick. Thank you. A lot of Mike Hill in Keldrick Falk.
Yeah, he's a little bit different, but yeah, there's a lot there of a bigger edge who's sort of almost defensive tackle-ish. I think he's a little bendier. He plays with his eyes up. He's got quick hands.
The hands are certainly not as heavy.
It's
his
not
tape
as much
in 24
of a power.
was way better.
he gets dropped. He gets moved a little bit more than Michael, but he's also more of like a rip bend guy than Michael is. So like he tries to attack and dip his outside shoulder. So there's a lot of similarities, but they do have different styles where Michael's trying to go through your face and or at least will push you back a few feet in the pocket, even though he might not win because he doesn't necessarily know what he's doing yet.
No. And that would be the concern. Nothing would validate the Michael draft pick, and this will be misconstrued. Nothing will validate the Michael draft pick more than if Keldrick Falk gets taken by the Niners at 27. People will be like, oh, that means that they don't like Michael because they got the same thing. It's like, no. It merely means that they want more of what they already have. They're so far in on Michael, they're like, what if we had two of them? I'm not sure that's the best way to go about it, but damned if I don't love Michael Williams' projections, so I have to be in on Keldrick Falk at 27.
I also think Falk is he's got violent hands. He can be really disruptive. There's times where it doesn't look as good, but like there's a level of violence there I really appreciate.
He was in the thick of it all year at Auburn. And by the way, Auburn's defense, whomever, I refuse to look it up because it will be an enemy for life. Whoever their defensive coordinator was, into the sun.
Yeah, that's about right.
Who's the other Overton? The other defensive end?
Oh, are you thinking of Kieron Crawford?
Kieron Crawford, thank you. Sorry.
Overton's Alabama.
I'm sorry?
Overton's Alabama.
Thank you. Yeah, who I'm not a fan of. But Crawford, really exciting possibilities with Crawford. Very difficult to find him actually playing defensive end because you're like, oh, right. Kentucky actually had a pretty good offensive line, and this is a kind of an evenly matched game. Let me put that game on. And they're just dropping him into coverage repeatedly from, 5-tech. It was it was abysmal. And then you're like, oh, one game. Maybe they're just, being a little esoteric and doing it. Nope. It's like that all the time.
Yep.
Which, by the way, look great. Flipping the hips. Pretty impressive that he can play second level at his size in speed. But, like, I wouldn't mind him at all at the end of the second round on the basis of what happens if you actually let him play the position that he should be playing. Like, that could be fun.
I think that's incredibly rich for him, but
I like him. I'm in.
Again, I like him, but I think he's going to take time to develop. This is an interesting thought by Benali of Ty Simpson. Basically, would someone trade for Ty Simpson, get up at pick 27? Do you trade back?
It's been suggested that there are teams that are in on Ty Simpson. I'm going to give that another 10 days to believe it because what that reeks to me... I agree with why. What it reeks to me is that Ty Simpson is... So right now we're doing the classic thing that we do every draft cycle. And I mean just the Bloviators. We haven't talked for a week, so it's not us. But there is a de facto, everyone knows number one pick. We are now at the point where 80% of the NBA games do not matter. We are right before opening day, so that's kind of like also like, hey, let's lock in on the NFL draft stuff. So what we have is people trying to get attention by naysaying the no doubt number one overall pick, who, by the way, is not a flawless quarterback. Not an obvious one. Certainly not somebody that we've been talking about for a couple of years. But we'll do this next year with Arch Manning because we have no other playbook but to do the same shit every year, right around the end of March, early April. What if we shit all over the obvious number one overall pick? And what does that mean? It means that you have to then provide an alternative. Who's the better quarterback? And Orlovsky's out here just soaking it up on this whole, I like Ty Simpson more. You have other people out here being like, I think Garrett Nussmeier's a top 20, should be a first-round pick. You have crazy talk from people who are trying to get attention at a very weird point in the sports calendar because we're not 100% in it yet, but we're close enough that people are starting to think about it. So this is your time to grab some attention. And in that, I just think that there are now a lot of hangers-on of people who are jumping into the situation saying, oh, well, Ty Simpson must be good because now everyone's talking about him all the time. So teams that need a quarterback are probably going to try to do a Lamar Jackson thing and jump in at the bottom of the first round. But this cycle will end in a couple of days. Like a week from now, this whole cycle of let's shit all over Mendoza and let's talk up a Ty Simpson or a whomever. Like usually there's more options available not this year.
Everybody's twiddling their fingers right now. Like, all right, well, March Madness is back in a couple days. What do we got?
Right.
What do we got?
100%. 100%. So once we get to the Final Four, and there's not enough to talk about because, once UNC hires a basketball coach, once baseball gets to the dog days, which is literally after the first weekend.
Right. Everyone's like, I love baseball. And then you stop watching completely and you go,
well, not me, but yes, most people.
One of my favorite things in the world is to have the Giants playing on another TV and take a nap, to drink a Modelo.
Yep.
Listen, leave the window open and have John Miller's voice lull me to sleep in the middle of the day.
Rafael Devers at the plate. The pitch from Landon Roop. Regardless,
if you've never taken a nap to the sound of John Miller's voice, nothing will lull you to sleep better than that.
I mean, I've taken 24. Easy. Not in a while, but easy. By the way, I'd go down so easy now. Just wouldn't be easier. But yeah, it's now Joe Rizzo doing it to sleep. Regardless, I think that a week from now, we'll be on a new storyline, which, by the way, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be Jeremiah Love to the Titans at 4. That will be the storyline of next week, which is also stupid. But, hey, Tennessee Titans, they got to sell them tickets. They got to make sure that new stadium is full, and you can put Jeremiah Love, who's a reputable young man with incredible skills, on a billboard next to your franchise quarterback and Robert Saleh's bald-ass head. You can do all of these things to get those season tickets going. That will be next week, and then we will just forget about the whole Ty Simpson thing, and he'll go at pick, 42 to whichever team is at pick 42 right now. I don't know which one that is. Probably the Browns.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So that's where I'm at. I'm going to give it a week, and if it's still a thing that's talked about, then we can have some fun. But
Sure.
I don't think it will be a thing that's talked about in.
Yeah, I think people are bored, and it's fun to have a take. As we know. Sometimes. Last one. Any belief in the 49ers going wide receiver at 27? Yeah, maybe. Could be.
Well,
definitely possible.
It's very possible. I'm not going to flat out say that it would be inadvisable, but I do not think that Omar Cooper or Surratt or the only one that I think could be justifiable at 27, unless there's, Lemon falls, and even then I'm not totally in on that. The only one that makes sense to me is Concepcion, and I know I'm way higher on him than you are.
What about Brazil?
You and I wouldn't mind that. I'm not getting any buzz off of him right now. That is, well, I haven't checked in a week. Has he gotten any buzz in a week, Jake? Have you heard tell of Brazil love out there? Because it seems to me as if he is mid-second written all over him. All I hear,
he's not even in the first 2 rounds in this Field Yates mock.
Well, that is foolish. But I could take him. I could take him at 27. He seems to me like he's, again, pick 42. There's a lot of pick 42s in this draft, Jake. Like, there's a lot of, set the over-under mid-second round.
There's going to be a lot of, he went, okay. He went there? All right.
I'm just trying to figure, it's really annoying because the Colts are usually the team that does the big, bold, stupid thing right around pick 15 or so and kind of messes up everybody's board immediately. And I'm trying to figure out who that will be this year. I feel like the top 12.
Arizona could do something stupid.
I don't think Arizona can do something stupid. I think they can do something underwhelming. I think it's pretty hard for them to do something stupid because there's not a direction they can't go in. And
the Cowboys are usually just pretty good at drafting.
Sneaky good. Good scouts on the Cowboys.
I mean, that's the only way they stay relevant, because they don't sign anyone from outside the building. They have to draft well.
I will say that I think things could get really weird real fast at 13 with the Rams, because the Rams just do not care about consensus. Yeah, throw it at me.
The Lions at 17 making a move to like get up and go get somebody and go like trading up to like 8 for like Monroe Freeling or something insane. I'm just saying. Dan Campbell does what he wants.
Well, Brad Holmes too. I mean, the Rams, it's ironic, the Rams and the Lions are the two teams that we picked. That's mind meld in the same way that the Commanders and the Niners are mind meld.
Right.
So there's that. I mean, I'm fascinated to see what Tampa does at 15. They're in a weird spot, and they could do something big, bold, and brash, or they could just do the lamest thing possible and make sure everyone gets fired at the end of the year. Dallas has 2 first-round picks.
Jets have 2 first-round picks.
Yeah. There's a lot of love for Zion Young.
KC
at 25.
Has 2 first-round picks.
KC does have 2 first-round picks, but one of them's at 29, so it doesn't really apply that much to us. The Browns.
Zion Young, yeah. I mean, fine.
Zion Young at 25 to the Bears is like, that's been a thing for more than a week. I do think that's starting to filter out. I just don't see anybody who, with this draft, because I'm not going to argue that any of these teams that draft in the top 11 are competent, but the talent pool is so obvious to that point.
It feels like pretty obvious up front, and then it gets like, all right,
anyone you want. What do you like?
Right.
Which is why I think the Rams
could go 11 or 47.
Right. That's where it gets into, and that's it. That's the way that we've been breaking down this class. It's like I think I had 7 or 8, like gold star. These are guys first round lottery picks, if you will, and then. Like, here's 30 guys, and you can just put them in whatever order you want after that. Like, that's where we were at. And the Rams at 13, because they have – am I correct on that? No, they obviously gave up 29 for McDuffie. But, like, the Rams at 13 might be thinking 2 years ahead and get really crazy with it. Also, I don't think anyone's going to be giving up 27 draft picks, but you know that there's going to be a lot of teams with outgoing calls.
Someone will. I always bet on someone being overly optimistic and just feeling themselves, because it feels fun to make a pick. It feels so much fun to be like, we got our guy, man. And then you go, oh, our guy's okay. But you know what would be better is a better guy next year.
I mean, yeah, after 10, because I'll say this, like, I'm just looking at Todd McVay's mock draft right now. Like Mendoza, Reese, Maui Noah. He has Bain at 4. I'm not sure that's the case. But like Bain and Love and Tate and Styles and then Bailey.
Yep.
And then maybe Mansour Delane and then Downs. And once Downs is taken, now it's just whatever the hell you want.
Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson at 13
McCoy
makes a lot of sense. Like there's McCoy, there's Lemon. But now Messidor could go at 15. He's 25 years old.
And he needs custom shoes because his feet are so messed up.
He's got the Anthony Davises?
He tore the tendons in both of his feet 2 years ago.
That seems quite bad.
Wasn't good.
Golvin, it's going to be Blake Miller and Malachi Lawrence at 27. Neither of those guys are even remotely close to first-round picks in my book. And you can take him at 58. I don't think you can take him in the top 50, either of them. Particularly Lawrence, who feels like a YouTube all-star to me.
People are like, ooh, fun, off the
first
line.
First step's fun. Then what happens? And there's 10 defensive ends in this class where it's like, wow, what a great first step. Oh, no.
Yeah, I just watched the Western Michigan kid, and I'm like, you're rotational for Western Michigan. What are we doing here?
Yeah, there's no way to live. It's no way to live. Where, Cassius Howell is like that. At least Cassius Howell has like a move or two. Sure. But he has no plan. if something goes off. Like, and honestly, it's funny. You've been a big Gabe Jackas guy since the Senior Bowl. Was he Senior Bowl or Shrine Bowl?
Senior Bowl.
He's the only guy. He does not have the same physical traits as some of these dudes. Let's just be specific on first step, though it's nice. It's good enough. But he tries a bunch of different stuff and is just a mean SOB. Like, he enjoys contact. Like, he's going to end up being the third or fourth best pass rusher in this draft class. Right. And he might be the sixth or seventh off the board because teams will delude themselves into thinking, oh, we can teach him how to play defensive end. And it's like, yeah, no, you can't. Sorry.
Also, who's the ultimate a team tries to make a trade in the first round. They think they have a deal, it doesn't go through, they panic and they say, "Oh, I got to pick somebody." TJ Parker. It's the ultimate, you know what? He's fine. He's fine. He's going to be fine. That's the ultimate, is he whatever. He's at least the right size. He's going to be fine.
Yeah. There's one, by the way, we didn't mention this guy off the top, and we'll leave it at this, unless we have another question. But McShay has Kenyon Sadiq at 27, which it's like, again, it just feels like this draft is going to deliver them something great, and then they're going to take Blake Miller or Malachi Lawrence at 27.
No, I think there's going to be some stupidity ahead of them. That's going to leave them something.
How do you feel about McNeil Warren, the Toledo safety?
I've been meaning to rewatch him again. I think at 27, the size and the traits, it's fine. It's not my preferred safety. But that's part of that is because I've watched a bunch of his games and I'm not as sold on the coverage abilities everybody else is, because you see the pop and whatever. But you can also play him just as a linebacker, and there's an element of that where he's just huge and he hits people. So, him at 27, I get it. I think he is a little bit of a highlight-oriented player, but there's also a world where it's okay, maybe he could be Derwin James. I mean, no one's Derwin James, but physically, not incredibly far off. So again, I'm probably a bit lower, but in terms of size and versatility and upside, I'd get it.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest fan, but again, feels kind of like a YouTube all-star to me.
Yep.
Definitely wouldn't fit for the Niners. It just doesn't. You need somebody who's more aggressive with how they play their safeties. I mean, you need somebody like Baltimore would be a really good place for him if they wanted to go that route. Chicago would be a good place for him. Dennis Allen likes to mix it up there, put him on the line, stuff like that. A Raheem Morris team that's just going to play too high.
We'll see. We'll see what they do, though. Who knows? We don't really know yet.
No, we don't, and that's why we keep talking. How do you feel about Lomu?
I literally am going to rewatch Utah again tonight.
I liked Fano's tape more than I liked Lomu, but I like Lomu's specs far more than I like Fanu's.
That's kind of where I'm at, and I also think Lamu had to move from left tackle to right, and I do put a little bit of stake in that because of Fano, he had to move, and he might be more of a left. I'm literally, for the War Room, I'm going to do basically both of them. I'm going to focus on Lamu, but I will keep an eye on Fano. The arm length thing is so strange, where the combine mismeasured, and you're like, I don't know what to make of any of this.
It's called the Will Campbell effect. We're going to be on arm length for a while. We were on quarterback hands for a few years.
Yep.
And then Joe Burrow showed up and has itty-bitty hands, and it hasn't been a problem. We'll come up with something else down the line. Yep. Have you seen his inseam? Can't have that. But yeah, arm length is the measurement du jour right now. And if you want to hear, I don't know, watch, read, Jake do all of it. It's right above his head. You can scan that QR code right here, right now. Okay, one last time. If you are a Seek Help, you have access to a sheet. Put your stuff in it, and I will ship it to wherever the hell you are.
Yep.
If I got to eat a couple bucks, I'll eat a couple bucks.
Dieter's the man for doing that. One more thing. If you have a mailbag question, I'm doing one more before the draft. I don't know why I keep assigning myself work when I'm like
What are you
sweating trying to finish this draft guide. I'm not well, okay? But
Clearly.
I'm taking one more mailbag before the draft. Leave your comments below or on the Hutch report. That's where it will be done. I will have one more mailbag, and I will have one more top 50 board before the draft. And then we will have the draft guide, folks, which we will have more details on that to come. But it's
I'll
gonna be fun.
give you one detail. I think that the first iteration is only going to be draftable players, and that's going to save us a lot of work. I don't think we're going to include the UDFAs, which means that I think more than half of the players that we've assigned ourselves will not be showing up.
Dieter's wrong. All the UDFAs are going to be included. All the UDFAs, and there are so many because it's like it's bizarre. I don't even have like a lot of round 5 guys this year. It's just like
no.
After round 4, it's like, all right, he's round 6 or 7, and then undrafted free agent.
It's every Madden simulation you've ever done where you get to, because you're not like scouting, these fake college players and men. You get to like round 3 and you're like, I don't know, just figure it out for me.
You're like, I don't know, I'm just gonna guess.
Which team is gonna have Gemini figure out their round 4 draft picks, and why is it the Tennessee Titans? Okay.
That's right.
That's the end of the show. I'm on with Larry tomorrow night. I will be doing a solo stream, so you can send questions on that one. We'll be doing a solo stream this time on Thursday, and back at it next week. But there's 2 more shows this week, so why would I need to say that? Bye.